Happy Wednesday. How y'all doing? I am so excited to just pop on for a few minutes. And I want to talk about a little something that I call broke energy. So let me get my disclosure up front. So, first and foremost, broke energy doesn't mean that you don't have money. Broke energy is exuded by everyone, people who have lots of money, people who have no money. Y'all know this is my favorite topic to talk about. And the main reason why I wanted to have this conversation and talk to this about you today is because next Wednesday, March the 20th, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, your girl is hosting the first ever Make Millions Move Summit. For the first time ever, I am going to be giving you my Mac Daddy vibe around money absolutely for free. You can join me for a half day where I will be walking through 5 powerful sessions all around money. Why? Why am I talking about money? Why do I constantly talk about money? Why do we have to talk about money? Well, first and foremost, because abundance is your birthright. And I believe that you not having access to resource that is superfluous, that is more than you could possibly ever need or use, is contrary to what it is that God desires for you. Now, I know if you're a believer, we have to contend with the fact that Christianity is based, it has its roots in Catholicism. And Catholics believe that you are holiest when you are the brokest. And so many of us, without even knowing it, from the things we inherited or learned from our families, we are experiencing a little something I like to call broke energy. And the reason why I want to have this conversation with you is so that no matter where your money is today, you can stop doing the things that contribute to the energy that will mess with your money. This is just a quick precursor to what I'm going to be talking about when you join me next Wednesday, March the 20th, for Make Millions Move, the summit. You can go to movetomillionsmasterclass.com and get your free seat. My recommendation is that you don't just sign up for free, but you actually upgrade to VIP, because VIP is going to put you in proximity to your next level, because you're going to get to spend some extra time with me if you sign up for VIP. But I was having a conversation with a couple of my team members. So I think you guys know I'm going to do an episode on my podcast about the workhouse, because people keep asking me about the workhouse. We have a workhouse. So what that means is I bought a house and we work from it. That's essentially what it means. And so a couple of the team members are here, and they were asking me questions today. One team member was like, how do you change your relationship with money? Or when you say you need to change your relationship with money, what do you mean? Right. And so I thought it would be helpful if I just popped on to talk about that for a few minutes, because there's a reason why God talked about money as much as he did in the Bible. Okay, y'all posted the wrong link. Move to Millions Masterclass, not Move to Millions Mastermind. That's for my team, because they here helping me out. But there's a reason why God talked about money 2,300 times in the Bible. There's a reason why the majority of the parables are about money, wealth, or possessions. There's a reason why we have parables like the parable of the talent that talks about the fact that money was meant to multiply. If you know the parable of the talent, then you know, right? You know that the master was going away and he entrusted 3 of his servants with different denominations of money to steward while he was gone. He gave them the money based on the way that he understood them to be and how they would move within the organization without him being present. So to one servant, he gave 5 million or 5 talents. To one servant, he gave 3, and to one, he gave 1. Let's make this millions, right? So you're a CEO, you're going on a long trip, and while you're going, you're appointing 3 of your team members to watch over the business so that the business can still make money while you're going. So to one team member, you give $5 million. To a second team member, you give $3 million. And to a third team member, you give $1 million. When you come back from this long journey, I mean, you've been to Dubai, you went to Thailand, you went to Fiji, you went to Maldives, you went everywhere. You were gone for like 6 solid months. And your mission was that while you were going, your business would still generate. Like, that is the true sign of being a CEO, that you could be away from your business and your business actually still makes money. Right. And so these 3 team members, they have this money and they are storing it while you're going, and you return home. You are so excited to check in with your team. The team member that you gave 5 million is excited. She comes strutting in. She does a little turn because she has turned your $5 million into $10 million. Your second team member that you gave $3 million, she comes in doing a cabbage patch because she turned your $3 million into $6 million. But your team member that you left $1 million with, you got to find her because she in fear and in lack, and because she was afraid of what might happen to her if she didn't make your money move, she buries the money. Let's say she puts the money in a bank account that doesn't even get interest. So that $1 million is still just $1 million when you come back. You are livid. You are excited that one team member made you 10 million, one team member made you 6 million, but the one that your money stayed exactly the same, the one that did not allow your money to move because money is always moving, you feeling some kind of way. So not only does she get fired, but you blackball her. You tell everybody that they can never interact with her at all. The reason why the parable of the talents is so important as we talk about broke energy is because money was made to multiply. Money is currency. It is a current. That means it is flowing. It is always flowing. It never stops flowing. Money is increasing around us right now at an ever expanding rate. It never stops. Now, there are things we can do. We're going to get into broke energy in 2 seconds that will stop money from flowing. Do you want to know what'll stop your money from flowing? If you want to know what'll stop your money from flowing, I want you right now to put a comment in the chat. I'm going to tell you, but tell me, do you want to know what you might be doing right now that could be the reason why your money is not flowing? And I want you to keep in mind, this is regardless of how much money you have, regardless of where you sit right now in your business, right? Being broke is a mindset. It is not actually a reality because you are a creator, right? When you think about the forming of the earth, God said, let there be, and there was. Just through the power of your speech, you can create. And because you can create, that means you always are in the position to create resource. Let me tell a quick story before we get into broke energy. So a few years ago, my husband and I were building a home. We were building a brand new home. It's a Toll Brothers home here in Delaware. Beautiful. We went to the design center. That's the place where you go when you're building a home so that you can pick out all of your options, right? So we got to pick our cabinets, we got to pick our hardwood floors, we got to pick our countertops, we got to pick our hardware, we got to pick everything. So we're in the design center like kids in a candy store, and we pick everything. We want it all. And when we get the bill, when it's all said and done, it's $200,000 for the options. Now, the house that we were building was already like maybe $500,000 or maybe a little bit more than $500,000. So $200,000 for these options on our house. My husband wants to put everything back. And I'm like, no, these are the things that we desire. And if we desire these things, we should have these things, because the things that you desire, those desires were given to you by God. Desire, the word in Latin, means of the Father. So any desire that you have, and for those of you who desire money, you want more money. First of all, there's nothing wrong with wanting more. And that desire being put in you was put there by God, just so we're clear and we're on the same page. And so I said to him, no, we desire these things. We want these hardwood floors. We want the upgraded cabinets. We want the upgraded hardware. We want the granite or the marble countertops. We wanted all the things. We wanted the backslash. We wanted the lights underneath the cabinet. We wanted the heated floors. We wanted all the things. And because we wanted them, I believed we should have them. So I said to my husband, well, let's play a game then. Because he was like, well, how are we going to come up with this $50,000? Now, I had the money in a bank account, y'all. But let me just tell you, when you know how to make money move, you can play this game with yourself. You can make money move. And so I said, instead of taking the money out of the bank account to get all of these options and to pay this $50,000 deposit, let's go create the money. Because you can create the money whenever you want. Put in the chat right now, I can create money whenever I want. And so that's what we did. And so in order to create the money, I asked myself, I said, self, what can we do? What can we offer right now to our email list that if we put it out there, people will jump on it so that we can create this $50,000? We needed to turn in the deposit within 2 weeks. I wanted to create it sooner than that, but we had 2 weeks, right? So in 2 weeks, we need to have at least $50,000. So I drafted 3 emails. How many emails? 3 emails. I created an offer that was $5,000, and I sent the first email out to my list and said, I'm looking for 10 people who want to spend time with me for $5,000 to get this outcome or result. The first email produced the first 4 people. So just like that, I had $20,000. We sent the second email. The second email produced 3 more people. Just like that, I had $35,000. The final email, 3 spots left. All 3 spots were gone. In less than 7 days, we created $50,000. See, that's the beauty of not operating in broke energy. That's why I want to break down to you what I mean by broke energy so you can stop doing the things that will mess with your money and prevent you from making money move whenever you want to make money move. Because you can make money move anytime you want. All right, so here's broke energy. Number 1, and if you see yourself in this broke energy, if you're willing to be honest and transparent with me, when you see yourself, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat when you see yourself, okay? So the first way broke energy shows up, if you're an entrepreneur or small business owner in your own business, is undercharging. If you know that if you are being honest with me right now, you know you are undercharging, you know you should be charging more. For the way you show up, for the results your clients get, for how big and bad you go, if you know you are undercharging, ma'am, sir, this is broke energy. Broke energy is synonymous with lack. And there is no lack when you understand who you are. And without even realizing it, what you are doing is you are undercutting your ability to make money move when you undercharge. And it never serves you because the clients that you get don't honor and respect what it is that you're bringing to the table because they underpaid for it, and you feel resentful to your clients. And resentful energy keeps that broke energy circulating. So that's the first thing that you got to stop doing if you want to get out of the broke energy. Stop undercharging. Here's the thing. You may bring on less clients, but it's okay because if let me give you some numbers, for example. Let's say right now you're charging 10K and you really should be charging 25K. If you could get 5 clients at 10K, that's 50,000, but you only get 3 clients at 25K, that's 75,000. That's more clients. That's more, that's less clients, less work, but more money. So that will allow you to start vibrating at a higher level and replacing that broke energy with abundant energy. So whenever you're presented with an opportunity to choose, you want to always choose to charge more than it costs, and then add profit. Because that is how we actually get ahead. That is how we scale and sustain. That is how we create cash flow. And when we have cash flow, we're making money move. You know what I'm saying? Right. Number 2, not setting your prices to include a healthy profit margin. Now, this is different than undercharging because you could pick a price out of the air because it feels like a lot to you. But your service could be invariably worth 5 or 10 times that. That's the value associated with it. So when you undercharge and you don't understand your value, that creates a problem. But when you set your price and you haven't considered at least 60% profit margin, yes, I said at least 60%. If you're selling a service, you need to charge at least 60% more than it costs you to perform the service in order to keep your business profitable. Profit is how we keep scoring business, y'all. It's not enough to break even. Scrap that break even analysis. We're not trying to break even. We're trying to get ahead. We're trying to have more than is required for us to have a business that serves us financially and spiritually so that we can hire the team that we need so that we don't have to be all things in our business. And that's not going to happen without healthy profit margins. Now, I'm an advocate of you profiting at the transaction level, not at the end of the year, not at the end of the month, not at the end of the quarter, per transaction. So if it costs you, when you add everything up that is required, the cost of goods sold or the cost of your service, the overhead, your general and administrative costs, if you add all of that up and it comes to $10,000 and you only charge $10,000, you're only breaking even. You need to add 60% to that 10,000, and that should be the price for your service. Because now you've got flow. Somebody put flow in the chat. Now you got more. Yes, implement that now, beauty by, I don't know, is that Kisma or makeup artist? But implement it now. 60% more across the board. At least 60%. Some of your services should be 85% more. But let's just start with 60% if you're not used to charging for healthy profit margins. Number 3, creating a new offer instead of honing the one that you have until it makes you millions of dollars. That's broke energy. See, here's what happens. We think now, and I know this is going to go against everything that you believe, and I am an advocate for multiple streams of revenue. But what I'm not an advocate for is adding an additional revenue stream before you have perfected the one that you've got. Until your first revenue stream is generating $1 million, you don't add another one. You don't need to. So creating another offer because people aren't buying your main offer, they're just not your ideal client. Let them not be your ideal client. Serve the one you are meant to serve and keep serving them. Now, here's the thing. If your offer is $20,000 and that includes your profit margin of 60%, you only need 50 clients in it to make $1 million. 50 clients in a year is the equivalent to bringing on something crazy like 4 clients a month. And that might not even be right. Yeah, 4 clients, 12 months in a year, 48. Roughly 4 clients a month will make you $1 million if your offer is $20,000. And you probably have a $20,000 offer right now. So making sure that you get that first revenue stream to millions before you add the next. That's what we call the compound effect. That's what allows you to scale and accelerate how you're scaling so much faster. All right. Next way you exhibit broke energy is you convince clients to hire you. Here's the thing. I am all for overcoming objections. I think that you should. I think that if you are going to ask for the sale, then you need to overcome the objections. But there's a fine line between overcoming the objection and convincing. If you have to convince them to be your client, you're going to have to convince them the entire time. And no one has time to be dragging people along with them. You can't want it more than the client. And so anytime you find yourself spending time in that energy, and you know you're discerning, you'll know when you've crossed over, when you're no longer helping them to see that this is going to take them to their next level and that this is the thing that they most need to do. And now you feel like you're begging. You're not Keep Sweat. You're not supposed to be begging. And as soon as you start to feel like you're begging them, then that's when it's time to back off. My favorite line, and you are welcome to borrow it. I am not in the business of convincing people to let me change their life. Let me say it one more time for you. I'm not in the business of convincing people to let me change their life. You will literally change their life if they work with you. And if they don't understand that, you got to let them go. You don't want them if you got to drag them in. That's another way that broke energy shows up. The next way that broke energy shows up is when we actually don't take the time to invest in ourselves. Now, if we want to make money move, we have to invest and be investable, right? We learned that by the parable of the talents. The only way money can multiply is if we are investing. So you've got to be constantly investing. Now, I'm going to put a little asterisk here because what I'm not saying is that you invest. You don't have to over-invest in order to keep money moving. Some people overinvest. You want to make sure that you have a healthy level and range of investment. My personal recommendation is that you invest 10% of your goal. Here's an example. Let's say you want to get to the $1 million mark in your business. So in order to get to the $1 million mark, you should be willing to invest at least $100,000 to do so. Those investments shorten the amount of time it takes you to reach the milestone. So there has to be a return on that investment. If you gave somebody $100,000 and they gave you $1 million back, would that be a good investment? Yes or yes, it would be a good investment, right? So investing and being investable is another way that we can remove the broke energy, not investing in yourself, allowing fear to show up, acting as if there won't be any more money. Let me tell you why I'm not a lover of rainy day funds. And if you have a fund right now and you're calling it a rainy day fund, I want you to go change the name of it. I want you to change the name of it to my biggest dreams fund. A rainy day fund is precipitous of lack. A rainy day fund is telling yourself that it is not likely that when the time comes for you to need this resource that you will be able to create it. And that is contrary to the purpose of who you are. God created you with the power to create wealth. The first one was undercharging. The drop zone, Fayetteville. Undercharging was the first one. Okay. The next one that exhibits broke energy. Now, you thought you were just over delivering, but when you overinflate your packages to justify the price point, that is actually an exhibit of broke energy. That is a lack-minded tactic that will mess with your money. So instead of overinflating, and for instance, and you know it, you created a program that it costs $5,000. And for $5,000, they're getting everything and the kitchen sink. They get to talk to you every week, one-on-one. They get to come to group calls. They get all the modules. They get all the things. No, ma'am, no, sir. We do not have to overinflate because we price based on the value. And when you think about the value, I want you to think about the value over the next 5 to 10 years. If you teach them to fish today and they're able to keep feeding themselves for the next 10 years, what would that be worth to them? This is how I personally got out of undercharging. When I first entered the marketplace, I was charging something ridiculous like $97 a session. You probably wish you knew me then. And I easily got upset and frustrated when my clients got amazing results from the strategies that I gave them. I've always been this brilliant, but I didn't always charge in accordance to the value that I represent for the clients that I serve. And when I wasn't, I was exhibiting broke energy, and broke energy messes with your money. It's going to prevent you from being able to make millions. This is why I say 95% of your success is tied to the 6 inches in between your ears. And until you work on the 6 inches in between your ears, you will not feel 6 or 7 figures between your fingers. It's just not going to happen because you're spending your time in broke energy. The next one, this is a good one. And if this is you, if you do this, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. If you've ever said, I can't afford that, or that's too expensive, or that's not in my budget, or that's over my budget. If you've ever said that, be honest, put a 1 in the chat. I'm not judging you. I'm here to deliver you. That, when you do that, so here's what I want you to know about money. Money flows away from those who feel there is a shortage of it. Let me repeat that. Money flows away from those who feel that there's a shortage of it. So when you say, I can't afford it, or that's not in my budget, or that's expensive, what you are basically telling money is that you don't believe you are worthy of it coming into your life experience. And so money does not want to be anywhere where people don't feel it worthy to it. It's not going to show up. It's going to revert back. It's going to flow in another direction. That creates broke energy. So I want you to take that's expensive out of your vocabulary. It's not expensive. First of all, expensive is relative. Money flows away from those who feel there's a shortage of it. So saying I can't afford that, that's not in my budget, that's expensive, that's an indication that you think that there's a shortage of money, and money's not going to flow to you. Expensive is relative. That's why right now on the highway, there's a Kia driving next to a Honda, driving next to a Toyota, driving next to a Lexus, driving next to a BMW, driving next to a Mercedes, driving next to a Maserati, driving next to a Bentley. Because expensive is relative. We get to decide what we want. And how many of you have Gucci, Prada, Louis? Those are the 3 that are coming to my mind right now. How many of you have that? If you have Gucci, Prada, or Louis right now, a belt, a ring, a wristlet, a bag. If you like me and you got the GM bag that was like $4,000, I wanted it, I bought it. I didn't look at the price tag and say that's expensive. I asked myself, did I desire it? And because I desired it, I got it. It didn't matter how much it costs. Your house, your car. How many of you, like, if have anybody ever looked at the sheet that you get, I forget what it's called, when you go to closing on a house and you look at how much you're going to pay for your house over 30 years, and it's way more than you can afford because you thought you were buying a house that's $200,000, but over 30 years you will have paid $1 million for that house? You technically couldn't afford it, but yet here you are signing the paperwork and you're going to make the mortgage payment every month because expensive is relative. So stop saying that. If it's something that you desire, get it. And if it's something that you can't get today, create a plan of how you're going to create the resource to get it if it's something that you desire. When we get the things that we desire, we raise our vibration and we keep our energy up high so more abundance can flow in. Another way that we exhibit broke energy is hiring cheap labor instead of top talent. You shouldn't hire your team, the team that's going to help you to do what it is that you do, based on the fact that you could get it for cheap. You ever heard the saying, you get what you pay for? You ever heard that saying? You get what you pay for. Either way, you get what you pay for. So sacrificing quality for a lower investment is broke energy. If you don't want to limit the amount of money that flows into your life experience, then you have to stop limiting the flow of energy to be abundant. The highest emotion is love, faith, gratitude, appreciation, and trust. The reason why all those years ago, Oprah told us to get a gratitude journal is because gratitude is the highest emotion. And that which you are grateful for, you invite God to bring you more of. You want to make your money change? Again, this is a precursor. Go now to movetomillionsmasterclass.com. Next Wednesday, March the 20th, beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am, for the first time ever, hosting a brand new and completely free workshop, a half-day workshop called the Make Millions Move Summit. You can join me for free. Now, I recommend that you upgrade to VIP because VIP is where it's at. And if you want your money to move, you need to be in the energy and proximity of millions. And you will get to share space with me more closely and intimately if you are a VIP for this event. But it's absolutely free for you to register so that I can teach you. I have 5 sessions. The first session, the paradigm shifts that will make your money move. The second session, embodying the millionaire in you. It's time for you to not only enter, but to occupy the space that was already earmarked and ordained for you. The third session, the 5 mistakes that will mess with your money. I'm going to tell you, and here's the thing, they're different than the ones I'm giving you right now. These are bonus mistakes, just to demonstrate to you why you need to join me for the Make Millions Move Summit. If you don't have all the money that you desire in this moment, or you do not hold the full conviction that you can go out and create the money that you desire in this moment, you need to join me for the Make Millions Move Summit. So go to movetomillionsmasterclass.com and secure your seat and upgrade to VIP. You're welcome. So the highest emotion, love, appreciation, gratitude, faith, and trust. Highest emotion, that which we are grateful for, we invite God to bring us more of. Even when your money is not where you desire it to be, I want you to start expressing gratitude for what it is that you do have, because that gratitude will bring more of it in. And that is the way we eliminate broke energy. That is the way we eliminate broke energy. There's one more broke energy I'm going to share with you right now. One more way that broke energy shows up: spending all of your time working in your business instead of spending time working on your business. It's going to be hard to scale and sustain a business that you're the only one that's in. That's broke energy. If you subscribe to the belief that if you want something done right, do it yourself, listen, I got it honest. I graduated from If You Want Something Done Right, Do It Yourself University. I don't go there no more. I don't even go back for homecoming no more. I have surrounded by a team of talented individuals who support me and help me to do what it is that I need to do. And that is one of the things that shift my broke energy. So if you enjoyed this live, I will save it. If you enjoyed this live, do yourself a favor and go now to movetoMillionsMasterclass.com and secure your seat for the Make Millions Move Summit. It's a half day, 5 powerful sessions, including business makeovers and Q&A if you upgrade to VIP. I could literally make over your business and give you $1 million idea and tell you how to execute it in 10 minutes. But you gotta be in it to win it. So go right now to movetoMillionsMasterclass.com, get your ticket and upgrade to VIP, and I'll see you next Wednesday for the Make Millions Move Summit. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time. Take care.